Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Collector Car Stories podcast. We're trying a little something different today. We are on site at the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. It takes place in the Yorkville region of Toronto, Ontario, every year on Father's Day. So here we are, Father's Day 2025, and it is a fundraiser. It is organized by the Melanoma Research Council of Canada, and it's pretty pricey to enter a car. We do it as a promotional tool, but all the net proceeds go to the melanoma research, to fund melanoma research. So a great cause, certainly. And with our registration, we got a little goodie bag that included nothing other than sunblock. I shouldn't say nothing other than, none other than. There were many things in it, but sunscreen. What a great thing on a June day here, mid-June of 2025, because it is sunny and it's got to be a solid 25 degrees. As you see, the place is just teeming with people. We are, if you know Toronto, we are at the corner of Bloor Street West and Avenue Road right now. You can see behind me is a lineup of Ferraris. The Ferrari Club of America, Canada East region, is very well represented. And we had a car in this very spot last year. Last year, this spot was occupied by a similar lineup, but Porsche cars. And a lot of these same Ferraris were parked opposite on the other side of the street. They seem to have scattered the Porsches around a little bit this year. And as I say, the Ferraris occupy this western edge of the show here at Bloor West and Avenue Road. So that's enough of an introduction, I think. What we'll do is we'll take a little tour around. I'll try to get up as close as we can to some of these cars. However, as you see, the place is packed. But it's a great atmosphere. You'll probably hear some live music in the background. There are various awards, including for some of the highest fundraisers in favor of melanoma research. So we'll wrap up this intro and we'll move on down to the cars. Okay, the crowds are a little more manageable here by these GM F-body cars from the second generation. A little too crazy at the Ferrari display. So we moved along here. So you can see here we've got a turbo Trans Am, maybe a 4.9 liter with a turbo. And as you see on the door of this car, it was a pace car at the Daytona 500, late 70s. We'll try to superimpose the date for that onto the screen. You can see it's got your normal second generation Trans Am accoutrement, the silver textured dash and shifter surround. Those seats are changed over, but they certainly suit the car well. I see a Firebird emblem on the door card. And instead of fuzzy dice, I see the car was factory equipped with air conditioning as well, so no stripper here. Here's a good look at the NASCAR emblem, and then the classic fire chicken on the hood. I like the white with black monochrome paint scheme on this. And then here we have one a little closer to the livery of Smokey and the Bandit. I believe in the movie they had a 1977 Pontiac Trans Am. These same colors, not quite as dressed up with the stripes and calligraphy, but darn close. I do like how this generation of Firebird, the tail lights look a lot like a set of wings. So I guess they are the wings of the Firebird itself. Look at the pipes down here, and this has got some beefed up wheels in the rear. But again, they suit the car pretty well. The white lettered BF Goodrich radial TA, certainly period direct. We're getting a look at the dash, which is somewhat similar to the one we just looked at, but a gold tint instead of just the silver. 3-spoke steering wheel the same way, and look at that, this one's a manual transmission. So that'd be a 4-speed in this car. Big long shifter with reverse in the top left. These seats look a little more original. The lower buckets, power windows. And we'll move forward. This is a non-turbo car, so the big 6.6 liter engine, you can see that on the hood venting, as well as the big fire chicken on the hood. Here's a good look at the front drivers. BF Goodrich radial TA, the gold finished rims. Got a second generation Camaro here, and see some Foose wheels on this. This one's modified to the hilt. I'd call that a metallic paint with a fleck on it, so it's got a real sparkle. And he's even done up the venting on the rear window with the fleck paint. Here's a good look at the interior. 3-spoke steering wheel and that shifter. Both aftermarket additions. I even see a set of cup holders in there. Definitely didn't come out of the factory with that. Also notice the light knob is pulled out, so I hope this guy's able to start his car when it's time to go. Good look at the front of that Trans Am.
Ahí sí la gracia nos ve.
Color scheme. We're going to get a look at the chrome heavy engine compartment here, right above that fuse wheel. Here's a good look at it. This car would have been equipped from the factory with a 350, but if there are any original components on there, they've certainly been dressed up with lots of chrome. And I see the Chevy logo on the valve cover as well. So we'll take a time out for now, and we'll see what we see up the way. Okay, continuing on with our boutique tour of the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. Right here in front of us, we have a Porsche 911 Cabriolet, and this is the 991 generation. We've got a 992 beside us, and I'll point out a couple of the differences. But looking in at that one, I can't see as well as the camera can, but I think we're looking at a PDK transmission in this chalk colored, I'll call it 991 generation Cabriolet. One difference I'll point out is this parking light here at the front right is a little different on the 992. You can see on the 992 the outward point is at the bottom. On the 991s it's at the top. Another difference, we've got width of the car, middle brake light, well not quite the width, but certainly the width of the Porsche emblem. And another item is get a mental photo in your mind of those tail lights. And we'll work our way over to, this is not just a 992 generation, but it's even a turbo. But you can see the tail lights and the Porsche emblem through the center. A little different than on the 991. And without the spoiler, there's one touch I would show you that's different, but with this spoiler on this car, it's not different. The normally aspirated cars without the spoiler have almost like a pause button, so Roman numeral 2 for their middle brake light. So as I say, this one's a turbo. You can see the openings right in front of the rear wheels, and a pretty glorious interior on this car. Also a PDK transmission. Working our way along, we've got a blue Targa. Now you can see this one on that front parking light I pointed out. The outward point is on the top, making this a 991 model. So we've got a blue on gray here. And in the good old days, the Targas were a manually removable roof. Now it's all power, as you'd expect. The 911s over the years have gained a little weight and gained a lot of features too. Looking inside of that one, also a PDK car. Working our way to the rear, that full width brake light. And this one would be a 4-wheel drive model, what with the reflector spanning the entire width of the car. Next one, we're not going to spend too much time on. I don't know so much about these. It is a Taycan electric 4S, so we do know that's a 4-wheel drive. And the S would be a little more dressed up than most, but that one, as I say, is an electric, and it's a 4-door. Over here, this one's probably 30 years older than the rest. This one I know quite a bit about. It's owned by Collector Car Canada. So this one's a 1989 Porsche 928S. You can see it's got the retractable headlights, and they're in the up position now. They're functional, but often we leave the headlights up just to show off the feature. And especially with those, we'll get around to the front, but it has a really clear look to them. There's no framing around those circular lenses. Look closely inside of that glass. You can see we've got a similar Collector Car Canada caps back there. So on the rear of the car, this is a 928 S4, as I say, 89, the last year of manual S4s. In 1989, the 928 GT was released, all of the GTs are manual. So the manual became a bit redundant in the S-Force and discontinued for 1990. 1992 to 95, the final year of the 928, there was a 928 GTS, and the red reflector on the GTS extended through the center of the car. A little like those four-wheel drive 911s, as I said. People are always surprised at the spoiler on this car. It's unpainted. It's just, I guess I'll say a malleable plastic. It happens to be clean today, so it almost matches the car, but a car with different paint still has that black rubberized plastic. Another new touch for 1989, the lady in the yellow hat is right in front of the antenna. That antenna is removable when a car cover goes on or when it's time for a wash. One non-stock item on this car, you can see it's got a rear, the two pipes there are not stock. You would have a chrome finished single exit, but this car is not running a muffler. So it's got a rear muffler bypass, and that's the reason for the two pipes. So here's a profile view of the 928. Lots going on here at the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. One kick we get out of this one is that, well, I suppose we have 3 911s and a Taycan, but we attend a lot of shows with this car, and they always put us with all the Porsches, and usually the Porsche sections are dominated by 911s, as you'd expect, and a lot of 911s, most 911s are worth a lot more than this 928, but when there's a lineup of 911s, after you see about 3 or 4 of them, I'm not going to say they look alike, but they look similar, and then this 928's got a much different look about it. Here's a good look at these retractable headlights in the up position. As I say, in normal driving, when they're not in operation, they're folded back, but the lenses are exposed. Here's a good look at our sign and our display here at the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. And a quick look at the lineup of Porsches. So the 991 Targa in blue on gray, the 928 S4 on the far right, the white Taycan 4S. Here's the 911 Turbo 992 with the PDK, and the front trunk just being opened up. We've got the 911 Cabriolet 991 generation. So with the crowds, we've had to resort to the rear end of the cars. You can see on the front of this 1955 Crown Victoria, there are a lot of folks here. We're not going to get a chance to show you every car. There are hundreds of cars on display, but I'd estimate tens of thousands of spectators. So a sure sign of a successful event, even if it means we can only see the rear of the cars we're at now. As I say, right in front of us is a 1955 Crown Victoria. Up next is an early C3 Corvette. I see chrome bumpers in the front and rear. I can't peg the exact year of it, but definitely between 68 and 72. Are there any keen Corvette observers out there who could tell us the precise year of this one? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Next up, another Corvette. This one from the C4 generation. This is a Callaway Corvette. So Callaway is a performance house, modification house that specializes in Corvette, among others. We'll flash up a little information about it superimposed on the screen so you can find out more about this Corvette C4 Callaway edition. Looks like a hardtop convertible with the hardtop in place. So continuing with our tour from above, to the left we've got a 5th generation Camaro F-body, SS trim, and that's a later one by those tail lights. Then up next we've got a Lotus Emira. You can see that Lotus badge engine. I suppose I call that a mid-engine, but certainly rear of the passenger compartment. Next up, a late Viper, so a Dodge Viper with the ACR package. Check that one out. Performance to the gills. So moving on from the Viper ACR on the left with the big high spoiler. Right here we've got a later model Bentley Continental GT. I can pick it out as a later model with those tail lights. They had a recent reskin. And then right here in orange, another Lotus. We can see the mid-engine aft of the passenger compartment on this Lotus Evora. finished in orange. So we do get to see this one a few times a year on the show circuit. And we've deliberately chosen the rear of this on an angle where you can see its length. This is a 1973 Chrysler Imperial, and its claim to fame is it's the longest production car ever built. Again, a 1973 Imperial Brougham, black pillarless sedan with the black vinyl top and white interior. Really sharp looking car, and again, the longest production car ever built. So here we've got a G-body Porsche 911 Cabriolet Carrera. I can see the third brake light. Certainly I know it's 1983 to 1989. The Cabriolet first appeared as a Porsche 911 in 1983. And those third brake lights first appeared by law in 1986. That one looks a little bit more streamlined than I'm used to seeing. I suspect it might be an aftermarket middle brake light or center high mounted stoplight. So maybe this is older than an 86 that we assume it would be based on its presence on the white on black 911 Carrera Cabriolet G-body. Next up, we've got a Porsche 356. The thing I get a kick out of on this car is the plate frame. You can see Refined Motorsports. That was owned by a gentleman named Henry, who took his early retirement at the age of 83 a few years back. We were really sorry to see him go because he used to work on that 928 we've already shown you. We got Henry's last timing belt and water pump job, a trademark service item on the 928s. To the left of the 356, we've got another G-body. This one is a 911 Turbo. Couple of interesting fun facts about it. I can see on the inside it's got sport seats, but the 911 Turbo, it's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. So it was first introduced in 1975. So the G-body was produced until 1989. But interestingly, on these G-body turbos, they were a 4-speed manual transmission until the very last year. In 1989, they went to a 5-speed, and then in 1990, Porsche went to the 964 for the 911. So 1 year only for the 5-speed. Fantastic condition 1968 Volvo right here. See, it's equipped with an automatic transmission, and I'm thinking it's got to have been restored with great finish like that. But 1968, you could see the license plate on the rear. In Ontario, if you have a 1973 or older car and you get a set of plates matching your year of manufacture, or model year, I guess I should say, you can right away to Service Ontario, and if the numbers and letters are not already in circulation, they'll give you permission to put the plate on your car. You have to pay the same price as you would for a normal personalized plate. Over here, we've got a later Karmann Ghia, so it'd be a 70s Karmann Ghia by Volkswagen. This one's a convertible. The Karmann Ghia was built from the 50s through the 70s. It had a long production run with various changes over the years. Rear engine, just like a Beetle, but a really sharp looking car, if not a fast one, with the air-cooled flat 4 in the rear tapping away. A couple more interesting cars here on the eastern edge of the show. In front of us, we've got an AC Cobra. I see the plate frame even says Carroll Shelby Motors. I confess, even though this one's autographed by Carroll Shelby on that dashboard, I can't tell if it's a replica or the real genuine article. It is a car that has had many replicas produced. And then here, the last car on the eastern edge of the show, we have an R107 Mercedes-Benz. So the R107 had quite a long production run from about 1972 through 1989. There were 3 engines offered and thus 3 models. You can see on the left the badging is a 380 SL, meaning it's got a 3.8 liter V8. The first offering was a 450 SL, and the end of the production was a much bigger V8, 560 SL. So it was 5.6 liters after the first one being a 4.5. Just looking at it from here, I can see this one's a US market car. And the odometer's checking in at about 87,000 miles with a wind deflector in place. Sharp car, R107 body style. We've sold a number of these over the years on the website. So some more great cars here at the Yorkville Exotic Car Show. I'm not going to narrate these ones over the music. Sit back, enjoy the music, and enjoy the cars.
Sabroso, muy bueno. Así está la cosa. Bueno, vamos a Brasil o no? ¿Es go to Brasil or no yet? No? No Brasil? Are you sure? Okay. ¿Nos vamos a Cuba o no? ¿A dónde vamos?
You don't want that. That's my big problem. Oh, he was the one thing that was right. Let's do fun. Ready? Like you can hear how you're supposed to.
So that'll do it for an abbreviated episode of the Collector Car Stories podcast here on collectorcarcanada.ca. Abbreviated because of all of the crowds. There were a couple hundred cars on display. But with all the crowds and not getting a preview like you do at the Canadian International Auto Show, we couldn't show you every single car. But take a look at the show's website, Yorkville Exotic Car Show. So again, thanks for watching this abbreviated episode, and we're gonna move on to the next car.